I'm going to be having the best controls, camera angles and game settings coming right your way right after this, guys. Hi guys, welcome to another FIFA 19 tutorial. You know me, just getting straight into it. So here we go, straight from the off. So the FIFA trainer, the first thing, obviously you go to customize at the main menu, and then you go to the settings. The FIFA trainer, you want that hidden unless you're an absolute newbie to the game, then I recommend it then, but other than that, have it at hide. Time to finishing, you want that on because it's going to be a pivotal part of the game. I do think as the game goes on longer, with loads of patches being released by EA Sports, you're going to need that. You're going to need that on, basically, guys. It's a new feature, and all the new features are always overpowered. The second defender switch icon, I want to really get into this. You need this on. It is absolutely pivotal. I cannot stress this enough. You can see here in this example, yellow triangular is the teammate controlled AI. You're the red icon. You're the red triangular icon. So I don't think too many players are going to get confused by this, but just in case you are, I've got something later in the tutorial to absolutely put your mind at rest about that, so you'll make no mistake who you are controlling. But you should know by now that you're the red triangular icon, and it's very faint as well. It's faded, that yellow. You can't see it too well on the pitch, but you can see it. You know what I mean. So that's the computer controlled AI. And what the two benefits from this: when you're switching manually the right stick to control defenders, and then you want that close defender highlighted, and you normally press LB to get the closest player to the ball, that's always going to be that yellow icon, the computer controlled AI every time. So you will know who you're going to switch to every single time with this switched on. Another reason to switch it on is for high pressure. I'm going to be going into this more in depth with a high pressure tutorial later in the year, but basically when you're pressuring with high pressure, that player is going to be the computer that's going to go pressure in the ball, and then it's going to switch depending on when they pass it and stuff like this, trying to beat you high pressure. It's going to be the computer controlled AI pressing the ball, and you need this. You need to see which player is going to go and press the ball, so then you can go towards the receiver of the passer. Do you get what I mean? So for them two reasons alone, you absolutely need this switched on. There is no two ways about this, guys. You'll only be giving yourself a disadvantage and be playing blind. Have that switched on for sure. Pass block assistance, another one, a huge advantage. This just means pretty much what it says on the tin. The AI controlled defenders that you're not controlling will go to intercept a pass automatically when the ball is close by. So have that on, so you'll have an advantage. What it's switching every year, I always say switch this to air balls. It's no good manual or auto, because with air balls, what it does is you don't want auto because it will switch your icon all the time and you won't be in control of your players. With air balls, what it is it will switch your icon when the cross is being put into your box. So it will switch to the player that's closest to the ball from the cross. The cross is going towards in the air to defend to the cross. And also for lofted through balls, when they do lofted through balls to their players with pacing behind, to Timo Werner or Sadio Mane, that defender that's running with Mane or Werner or whoever, the striker, it will switch to him automatically. And this is good. It's not too confusing. It almost does some work for you, and you need that on air balls, trust me. Auto switching move assistance, you want this on none. I'm not going to go into this too much because I've gone on about this in every tutorial every year. FIFA 18, FIFA 17, best controller and settings and all this. 16. I go on about this every year. So if you want a detailed explanation as to why I have that on none, then watch one of my previous tutorials. I'm not going to go into it again, but just trust me when I say have that on none. As for the pass assistance, you want that on assisted for sure. It's just you'll be giving yourself a disadvantage if you don't. Same with through ball assistance and the same with shot assistance. All three of them you want on assisted. You don't want on manual or semi. Have all three of them on assisted. But with cross assistance, you want that on semi. You don't want it on manual and you don't want it on assisted. The reason why you want it on semi, if you have it on assisted, you won't be in full control of your crosses. With semi, you can control the power, so you can do near post crosses and you can do far post crosses. So you're in full control of your crosses. Manual's a little bit too much, a little bit too hard. You will be in full control of your crosses, but it's too hard. It will take you about a year to master, and I don't think you'll get much benefit from it, even if you did master it, guys. Semi is what you want that on. Lob pass assistance. Now this is the only one I would say it's optional on the whole of these settings. It depends on what it feels right for you. What I will say is half of the pros have it on assisted and the other half of the pros have it on manual, if that's anything to go by. So we either go one way or the other with this. I personally have it on assisted, but I might try manual. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. Assisted's been working for me and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, again, what comes down to your personal preference, what you feel comfortable with. But there's no problem having that on assisted, guys. And there's also, as I say, no problem having it on manual either. Save assistance, you want that on assisted, obviously. Analog sprint. You have this on, disadvantage because you're just going to be holding the sprint button down, and the longer you hold it in, you'll eventually get to top speed with the runner. If you have it off, you'll be at top speed instantly. Don't need to say anything else. Have that off, turned off analog sprint. And as for defending, legacy or tactical, that's offline. All of these settings I'm explaining for online, competitive play against real players. That's for offline, like career mode and stuff. So I'm not really going to go into the legacy and tactical defending. If you really want to know, one of my subscribers will explain to you in the comments below. So as for the buttons, I keep them as classic. I will say that for the controls. But if you do want to change anything on attack, it will be swapping shoot with cross. So X with B on the Xbox or circle with square on the PlayStation. Just because it's the Pro Evolution Soccer controls, or it was last time I played it. I haven't played it in years. And if you're crossing over from Pro Evolution Soccer to FIFA, maybe you might be pressing cross button instead of shoot button because the controls are different. I don't know, they might have changed the controls in Pro. As I said, I haven't played it in years, but that used to be the controls for it. But really, guys, in all honesty, I'll just keep it as classic. I think the controls are perfectly set up, and I would keep it as it is. Same with defense, I'd keep it the same. But if you do want to change anything, some people like to change in the contain and the tackle button. So tackle is, the reason why is because A is closer to your thumb. So X on the PlayStation, A on the Xbox is closer to your thumb than what B is, if that makes sense. It's more comfortable. That's entirely down to you, again, personal preference. But what I have it on the like that. I have it on the classic controls. I love the classic controls, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. You get used to it, and if you change controls, you're only gonna like be trolling yourself and playing with the old controls for a while until you get used to it, making mistakes. So I don't tend to mix up the controls. I leave them as they are, but that's just me. I think a lot of players do that as well. Heading over to game settings now and the camera. This is important. So I have it on co-op. I've said this every single year. I do this tutorial. As I said, I've done one for FIFA 18, 17, 16. I do this every year. And co-op, the amount of subscribers, hundreds and hundreds have got back to me saying that I've changed their game forever. They've gone up in the divisions as a result of just this alone. Co-op, it's not too zoomed in, so you don't see all the pitch, and it's not too zoomed out so that your players are ants. You see your players, you see all of the park, all of the field, and it's perfect. You see passes you never saw before because it's zoomed out, but it's not too zoomed out. This is what I'm saying about it. It's literally the most perfect camera on the game, in my opinion, and not enough players use it, and when they do use it, they never go back. The other one you might want to dwindle it with is telebroadcast, but customizing it to your satisfaction with the height and the zoom, customizing it until it feels right for you. Telebroadcast, but I would strongly recommend co-op. I really would. I've not really had anyone that said they've never got on with it ever. Now to the visual, and this is the part that I said I'll help you with the thing earlier. I'll get to that in a second. The radar, I have it off. It's so annoying, but the one benefit to having it on, I will say, is when the goalkeeper's rushing out from goal, when you do a through ball to one of these pacey strikers, Vardy or Werner or whatever, the goalkeeper rushes off his line, sometimes gets it. With the radar, you'll see the icon of the goalkeeper rushing off, and you'll anticipate it and chip him. Now look at this. This is the player indicator size. It's on default. It was on default with the image I showed you earlier. You know, with the teammate contain the yellow triangle icon and the red icon. Look at this. I put an arrow in. I want you to look at the icon. You can change this to large. Do you see the difference? Look at it. Large. That will make no mistake as to who the player you are. That wasn't on large earlier that I showed you. That was on default. So this is something to bear in mind. If you are having trouble, I shouldn't think you are, because I've never been confused by that yellow icon. I always know that I'm the red icon, and that's who I'm controlling when I'm defending. But if you are confused by this, you can raise that to be larger, and you can't miss it, guys. You can't miss it. So have that teammate setting on, I beg you, because that is going to help you so much with high pressure, and also with switching your icons to be the closest player to the ball. You're always going to know who it is. There we go, guys. That is the best controller and game settings for FIFA 19. Smash a thumbs up, share this video if you really liked it, and yeah, guys, I'll have more tutorials coming for you soon. Thanks for watching.